Most live low-stakes players chase complicated strategies and miss the one simple edge that can triple their win rate. This isn't about playing perfect poker, it's about unlocking the advantage nobody talks about. So in this video, I'm going to reveal the hidden skill that makes my students look like pros and show you the practical steps to use it right away. There are actually three parts to this hidden edge. To start, let's imagine you want to set up a coffee shop. You buy a really nice coffee machine, find the best Brazilian blend on the market, and you design a shiny new sign for your shop. And then you rent a little shop space in a mall right in between a Starbucks and another coffee shop that was just voted best coffee shop in town. How do you think your business is going to do in this environment? Well, it depends how much money you have to play with, but you might be bankrupt before your first customer finishes saying extra hot oat milk latte with 1 pump of hazelnut. Phew, that was tricky. But now imagine you open up that coffee shop near a busy train station where the last cafe just closed down. Now you don't need a shiny design or a fancy coffee machine. You could be selling instant coffee out of a paper cup and still have a line out the door. Even if you serve a very average coffee you buy at Walmart, you'll probably become rich in a few months. When we talk about poker, then you are the coffee shop. The nice coffee machine, the best Brazilian blend, and the shiny shop design are your poker skills. The Starbucks and the other successful coffee shop are the other good players at the table, your competition, so to speak. So all you have to do is find the poker equivalent of the busy train station without much competition. In other words, you have to find the tables with the biggest fish and the least amount of good players. The money that you win comes from the difference between your skill level and the average skill level at the table. If you don't have a skill edge, then you will not make any money, or you might even lose money. Table selection is genuinely the biggest game changer for anybody's win rate. Or, as one of my loyal viewers said it, a single whale can lose more big blinds per hour than an entire bad regs table. When a student of mine started paying attention to this and only sat down at tables with exclusively recreational players, he moved from being a small loser to a significant winner. But how do you find such a table? Well, that brings us to the second step of the hidden edge. Just a few weeks ago, I went to play at one of my local card rooms. It was a Friday and I went there nice and early at around midday. I got my chips, sat down and had an incredible run of cards straight away. In my first hand I got dealt pocket queens. 5 minutes later I even had aces, then jacks, ace king and a couple of medium pocket pairs. And the best bit was that I won every single one of these hands. All this happened in my first hour at the table. But after that hour, I was up a whopping £7 at a 1-2 game. So how is that even possible? Well, when I raised my queens, everyone just folded. Same happened when I had the aces, ace king and pocket nines. With my jacks, I actually 3-bet and took down the pot. I didn't get any action with any of my big hands. This was extremely frustrating. And why was this such a tedious game? Well, at midday on a Friday, the majority of players in that card room were either older gentlemen trying to get points for the cash race, or they were pros who started early to be sure that they get a seat. So this was exactly the coffee shop between a Starbucks and an award-winning coffee shop scenario. And that confirmed what I've noticed lots of times over my 11 years at the live poker tables. The time of day can be one of the most important factors for your win rate. There is no exact rule for when the best games happen, but on average, nighttime is better than daytime, because you simply get looser players and potentially drunk ones at night. In the daytime, you get a lot more tight players who spend their afternoons waiting for big hands. In most card rooms, the games improve after 6 p.m. when people come to let off steam right after they finish work. And even players who were tight in the early afternoon often start loosening up later in the day once the genuinely loose players join the action. But here's the real reason why night games are better than day games, one that nobody ever talks about. Pros play both during the day and night. But good studied regs who have a job and play poker on the side tend to play during the day. They rarely sit there at 4 in the morning when they have to go to work at 8. And that makes the games much softer on average. But there is a third step to this, and this is one that the vast majority of players overlook. But this can be the difference between a very frustrating session and one that feels fun and ends with a wad of cash in your pocket. So a few weeks ago, I sat down at a table that had all the right signs. There were 4 really loose players who seemed to call very wide. One guy bluffed off his stack in almost every hand he played, and there was only one other good player at the table. Perfect conditions, you would think. But the one good and tight player who was sitting directly to my right then later messaged me and said that he was surprised to see how few hands I played at the table. Which was a good point. Indeed, I barely played a hand in the hour I was at that table. Part of the reason was that I didn't have such a great run of cards like in the session I talked about earlier, but one crucial reason for my inactivity was the player to my direct left. She called every single bet pre-flop, no matter how big. Now, this is not a terrible scenario for me because I know how to exploit such a player. I will just raise bigger with my best hands because I know that she will call light. But the problem are my marginal hands. If I raise ace-9 offsuit or 7-6 suited and then she calls in position, it's already not a great situation. And if I then add to the equation that the next 2 players to act behind her were also very loose and call happy, then opening these hands is equivalent to burning money. So I was handcuffed and had to play a very tight range. And by the way, if you want to find out how to exploit such a player, or in fact any player at your table, then check out my free cheat sheet Exploit Every Player Type, link in the description below. But back to our problem. It's not only the right table that matters, but also the right seat. And it's not only loose players to your left you want to avoid, but also very aggressive ones. If someone 3-bets you every time you raise, then that will be a losing proposition for you. You will have to start 4-betting light and just putting in more money with weak hands instead of trying to make money from the passive fish. So, what's the best setup? Well, ideally, I'd like to have everyone to my right and nobody to my left, but I guess that's not quite possible. Instead, try to have tight and straightforward players to your left. If that's the case, then you can boss the table around. You can raise the weak players for value, or you can 3-bet bluff players who raise light. Common advice is often to try and be to the left of the biggest fish. That's why they call that the Jesus seat. And this is sound advice, but I still prefer to avoid overly aggressive or overly loose players to my left. So when you're stuck in a bad seat and an otherwise great table, always ask for a seat change and avoid having loose and aggressive players to your direct left. But even if you have those loose players to your right, you still need a strategy to take their money. You can copy the easy system I use to crush these loose recreational players, so watch this video next.